rank where the view is nothing less than phenomenal. For how I express and project from my abdominal. The only view better, both my daddy and my mama know. No living parents, my sons give me balance. My wife is my serenity, this mic is my identity. The world is foul enough, that's why I write without obscenities. Provoking danger with broken language and spoken anguish. Begging to get hurt, why would you ask to go through changes? Yes, Lord, life's a chessboard, master the angles. Control the tempo, be the one who holds the info. Acknowledge is just as deadly as machete swings. When spoken, the truth is as potent as that Medellin. While others swear the style is free, I just let it ring. Our time is undervalued, soldiers make us better kings. My fans on my shoulder, reaching after better things. Today I take the shot, for them I'd rather set the screen.
My mama told me follow my dreams. My daddy told me get it by any means. Stand tall, make him bow to a king. But I've evolved, you can see the resolve. Look in my eyes when you speaking to God.
Life and for those who we caught up in using what I was taught with the muse. I guess they call it proving I'm more than an artist. Penciling out my darkest while stenciling out a harvest. And storing what gets me from A to B, just like garages. Instrumental with collages. Envision what I've been drawn. Broadway to give you rhythm like the great Lena on. So bent on, found comfort in the storm. Find peace and on when you see them others perform. Organized chaos, outcasted like hey ya.
Yo, what happened? There it is. There it is. Yo, party people in the place to be. What's good? It's the number one Chief Rocker in Knicks universe. Your main man, Uncle Freezy, is in the building. Salute everybody coming through to talk that talk the way that y'all like that. Talk to y'all. Man, I got some stuff that I want to talk about. The first thing I want to ask, right, because I know what it is. I know y'all questioning like, who's going to get the last vet spot, Uncle Freezy? Which young kid is going to break out, Uncle Freezy? What's Mike Brown offense going to look like, Uncle Freezy? What's Mike Brown defense going to look like, Uncle Freezy? We're going to win the chip yet this year, Uncle Freezy? Yeah, yep, all of those, right? But as opposed to talking to that, man, and speaking to that, what I'm going to do is talk about a specific topic and try to stay in this lane, right? Marlon Khan was good. The son of the legend, Kerry Cox, is in the building. Salute. Salute to everybody watching on YouTube. Salute to everybody watching on X. Yeah, man. Yeah, man. So what I want to ask everybody is this. Is Ben Simmons the cure for what ails the Knicks? I'm going to ask you, the chat, for your opinion first. And then I'm going to kind of state my opinion, man. I'm going to share how I feel about, you know what I'm saying, the Ben Simmons acquisition. And hopefully we can build a informative, smart, open-minded conversation around why this will be good. Endgame is in the building. Salute, man. Look, I'm so into this topic right here. Right, I'm so into this topic right here. I'm gonna take this microphone off. Y'all bear with me. Sharice is in the building. Salute. Hey, so I'm gonna so Duncan, listen. I'm gonna speak to this in a layered way, right? And listen, I know I get it. Being a passionate fan is important, right? I'm a passionate fan. I like to have these deeper conversations. Look, like every conversation can't be like, yeah, let's get them. Like that can't be every conversation. You know what I mean? There's room for that, but not. I want to do something a little bit different. Right, Corey Lee, the place to be. What's good, my brother? Yo, I salute to my guy Corey Lee. I was about to head your way the other day. Lee, I was about to head your way the other day. I got misdirected to Fayetteville though. Corey Lee says, peace and salute, Queens in the building. Queens get the money. Shout out to my bro. And the Blurn says, yo, why you ain't shout the 718 boys? Lee didn't shout out the 718 boys this time. Okay. All right, I see you. I see you. Yo, yeah, shout out to my guy, right? Shout out to Lee. To the question that I asked, is Ben Simmons the cure for what the Knicks want to do? Now, as of today, I saw the thing on Bleacher Report with Jake Fisher. Jake Fisher stated that there are teams with interest. I think he said Boston, Phoenix, Sacramento, and the Knicks all have a certain level of interest in Ben Simmons. Right? Some may love him. Some may, be okay. Like, hey, we get him. If we don't, we don't. Kind of in that mindset. What I would say is this: I think the way that the Knicks are going about this is very smart. Right? I think the way that they're going about filling this last roster spot is very smart. Right? I think the Knicks are taking the approach of, hey, let's see who we can get on a partially guaranteed deal. That way, if things don't work out, we can always back out of the deal. Right? We can always pivot is the new term that we use nowadays. We can pivot. Corey Lee in a place to be and a member of the channel. Salute to Lee. Lee is a member, a contributor. He got a wrench. Lee must be the man right here. Lee says the 718 boys are always in the building. Love is love. Yeah, love is love, bro. Alfonso Scott in the building. What's good? Top Notch T in the building. E. Gibson in the building. Salute. Shout out to everybody also watching us on X. Shout out to everybody watching us on X. Salute to y'all. So the Ben Simmons conversation starts with this. Can we sign him to a one-year deal and have options for following years if he turns out to be a fit for what we're looking to do here? Right? If he plays good, can we keep him without having to outbid somebody for his services? Right? Can we get him on a 1+1 type of deal? Like, you know what I'm saying, this year and a team option. That way, if he turns out to be Ben Simmons, then we pick up his option for next year. Right? And then that gives us some time to move the cap around in case we want to keep him for a third year. Right? That's the first question. Can you get him, have control of him, but not be in an albatross situation if it doesn't work out? That's the main thing we want to do. Hey, Top Notch T, I see you. I think what Ben Simmons wants more than anything, I think the primary thing is a fully guaranteed contract. I think that's what he's holding out for. I think teams are offering like, hey man, you kind of have a history. We want to have some assurances that if things don't go the way we want, that we can pull a parachute on it. right? So here's the thing. Here's my thinking on it. Leon Rose and the team, I think, are looking to get him on a partially guaranteed contract with the option to fully guaranteed if he plays, and if he don't, you kick the tires and you didn't buy, right? You test drove, but you didn't buy, right? That's what the Knicks want. Now Ben Simmons is going to want a multi-year deal worth as much money as possible. The market's not offering him that right now. So the second thing Ben Simmons is going to want is a place where he can get a shot to prove to the NBA that he can still be productive in limited minutes. And this is what makes the Ben Simmons conversation kind of nuanced. It's nuanced because Ben Simmons is going to want a multiple year deal, or at least a 1 year deal worth big money where he can prove that he can still be a contributor on a championship team, right? Now, there are some other parts of this conversation. Now, this is the tip of the iceberg, so don't throw the conversation away just yet. I just want to hold your attention for a few moments while I get to these other elements of the conversation. Ben wants to prove himself and make money. The Knicks want Ben to prove himself and have a golden parachute in case things don't work out. And I don't blame the Knicks for that. I don't blame them for that. I think the Knicks are smart even thinking that. I think the Knicks are smart even exploring that. So why would Ben Simmons choose the Knicks? So what? Yo, Wilson Ding in the building. Oh, I see you. So why would Ben Simmons choose the Knicks, and why would the Knicks choose Ben Simmons? Outside of the money and contract that I just spoke about, we can get down to what they call the nitty gritty. Dudes that play in the NBA and make a lot of money want to win a championship. Right? Outside of think about where you are with your job. Mostly you want to have three things at your job, right? I mean, three dreams at your job, right? Right? Dream number one is make the most money. Dream number two is be the boss. And dream number three is be happy. Now, a lot of times you're only going to get two out of the three. Right? If you're going to make all the money and you're going to be the boss, you're not going to be happy. You're going to be a curmudgeon. Right? Right? If you're the boss and you're happy, you're probably not going to make a lot of money. If you make a lot of money and you're happy, you're probably not the boss. Kerry Cox, you. Yo, these queens these queens do be making me laugh, bro. Yo, these dudes from Queens be making me laugh, bro. They pure comedy, bro. Somebody do something with Kerry Cox thumbs real quick, man. Yeah. Yo, you hilarious. You are hilarious, bro. Yo, I'm trying to concentrate here, man. Relax. The thing with Ben Simmons is this. Why would Ben Simmons choose the Knicks? Revitalize his career and win a championship. Who says no? Revitalize your career and win a championship. If you're Ben Simmons, does Boston offer you a chance to win a championship? Does Phoenix? Does Sacramento? They do not offer you a clear path to a championship with a stacked roster. They don't. They don't. What the Knicks offer, though, is a spot. The Knicks need three things from three different players, and Ben Simmons offers all that stuff in one player. At a minimum, he's gonna do the thing that the Knicks need these three players, right? He's gonna play make, he's gonna rebound, and he's gonna defend. And the Knicks need all three of those things from a slightly undersized roster. And you can sign Ben Simmons to do all three of those things confidently in his sleep. Playmaking, rebounding, and defending. And one person making the vet minimum or close to it. That's where the Knicks win. Where Ben Simmons wins is the opportunity to rehab his career in the biggest basketball market in the world and win a championship in the process. And I'll ask you as a Knicks fan, and I know how much y'all hate Brooklyn. Yeah. Me too. I'm with you. I despise the Brooklyn Nets. So what? They despise themselves. Shit, hell. I mean, I don't know. I hate the Philadelphia 76ers because they used to bully us when I first started becoming a fan. They used to knock us to the floor and stand over us, and they had big dudes like Caldwell Jones elbowing people in the face and all type of stuff after we won our championship, after our championship run had come to an end. But what I do respect in those two markets is they're major media markets, Philadelphia and New York. Ben Simmons has played in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, Brooklyn, New York. If y'all ever been to Brooklyn, y'all already know the vibe. If you ever been to Brooklyn, you already know the. If you already 718, you already know the vibe, right? And he played in Los Angeles for the Clippers. You already know the vibe. You already know what the vibe is. It's not a thing, can Ben Simmons play in certain markets, right? Oh, the other team Jake Fisher mentioned was Milwaukee, and y'all know he ain't going to Milwaukee. He ain't going to play for no Doc Rivers. Y'all know that's out. That's why I didn't mention him. Jake Fisher also said Milwaukee, but you already know that's out. He ain't going to play for no Doc Rivers. That's absolutely out. You see how they ran Dame Lillard out of town, bro. That place is a mess. But if I were to ask you this time next year, when we finally got over our hangover from winning the championship, if I ask you, when Ben Simmons is on that championship stage with the Knicks, and Ben Simmons says something like, man, thank y'all for embracing me and giving me a second chance. I'm just glad. I don't know if I'll be here long. But I just want to thank the fans of New York for giving me the opportunity to help them bring a championship here. What would you say? If Ben Simmons helps the Knicks win a championship in whatever capacity, whether he's the 15th man or the 6th man, would how you feel about Ben Simmons be different? Daniel Berry Sports Highlights is in the building. Salute. I would say now, this is my opinion, and I'm not speaking for you, and I'm not asking you to agree with me. Right? I'm speaking for myself. I'm not speaking for you, and I'm not asking you to agree with me. What I'm saying is, on a personal level, if Ben Simmons helps the Knicks win a championship the way I viewed his entire career before he signed with the Knicks, it's going to look different to me. Is what I'm saying. Now, there are some other things that I want to mention that go along with this, but this is my favorite part of it. This is my favorite part of it, and I'm not gonna lie, there were a few of you as I was going about my day, thinking about how I'm gonna present this. Top Notch T is one of them. Yep. Corey Lee. I think I called Corey Lee today. I may not have, but I was gonna try to run it by him. Do you believe the Knicks have a strong enough culture to embrace Ben Simmons and the baggage that comes along with, and have him be a contributor to the Knicks? Just Knicks is in the building. Do you believe the Knicks culture can support a heartbroken and fragile player that was once on the top of the world and then hit rock bottom? Do you think the Knicks culture can support that type of player? And if you ask me, if you tell me, like, hey, Uncle Freezy, that question's not fair. Yeah, it is. It's fair. It's fair because regardless where Ben Simmons goes, he's going to go into a culture somewhere, whether it's Boston's culture or Sacramento's culture. Miguel P in the building. Salute. Can this Knicks culture, this Jalen Brunson, Josh Hart, Mikal Bridges, Karl Anthony Towns, homie culture, right? Can this homie culture insulate Ben Simmons from the outside noise and even from himself? Now, you already know, since I asked the question, you already know how I feel about it. Right? You already know how I feel about it based on the way I framed the question. I think of any team, and if you held my feet to the fire, of any franchise in the NBA that could support and rehab Ben Simmons, it would be the Knicks. Right? And here's why. Leon Rose doesn't talk. So you already know Leon Rose is not going to throw Ben Simmons to the wolves. The front office doesn't talk. Right? You already know how Mike Brown is based on his relationships with players around the league. Some players don't like people being direct and upfront with them, and some people love it. Some people, the thing with Mike Brown is Some people don't like a father figure, and some people love it. Right? It's just what it is. Some people like that father figure type encourager, um, um, got your back type coach, type man that will also, when you're doing wrong, he'll be the first person in your face, like, hey, you messed up. And you need to figure out how to unmess up and do right. That's Mike Brown. Some people like it, some people don't. Tory B in the building, salute. Coney Island in the building, salute. DSJ, what's good? David Smith is in the building. Some people like the father figure type, some people don't. Right? I'm one that I can deal with it sometimes, but not all the time. Some people love it all the time, some people hate it. Telling me what to do, man. I'm such and such, man. I'm such and such. Right? Some people embrace that, some people don't. Yeah, I want to address this right here too, y'all. I'm gonna put a star. I'm gonna put a star on this because I think this is like this right here is the lowest. I'm gonna just speak to it. I was trying to ignore it, but people keep saying it, so I guess I gotta teach people stuff because it is mad disrespectful, right? But I try to ignore it. I'll speak to it though. It really don't deserve no. It's crazy, right? Like people are like, yo, how many times Mike Brown been fired? Did it not dawn on you that that means he's been hired more times than that? Then, if he's been fired 4 times, that means somebody sees a redeeming quality in him and hires him multiple times. That's ridiculous. Mike Brown been fired 4 times. Well, that means he's been hired 5 times. Right? If Mike Brown has been fired 4 times and he has a new job, guess what that means? That means he's been hired 5 times. That's why I don't get it. Like people are asking, yo, man, Mike Brown been fired. Shit, I've been fired. Y'all probably been fired. Y'all probably been fired, laid off, terminated, or something for whatever reason. Right? Things happen. And then when you look at the situations he's been in, you're like, I'm surprised he didn't quit. The Lakers job? The Sacramento job? Man, come on, man. Come on, man. What we doing? And it's the NBA. And it's the NBA. If Tom Thibodeau and Mike Budenholzer and all these guys can get fired, so can Mike Brown. Mike Brown can get fired too. But if he's been fired 4 times and he's still working, surprise, that means he's been hired 5 times. Surprise. See how the math work? So y'all understand how the math work, right? But on the Ben Simmons front, though, let me just say this before we get too far outside of the Ben Simmons thing, because I'll move on from the Ben Simmons thing, but I do want to say this. I don't really say this much about many players, But I'm finally in a comfortable enough space to say this. I think the Knicks are a destination. Did I see still Knicks fans in the building? Did still Knicks fans? Yeah, still Knicks fans is in the building. Salute. Saying this kind of puts me in a space where I should be talking, but I'm in reflection at the same time. JM, what's good, man? Prezi, what's good? I should be talking, but I'm reflecting and thinking at the same time. I'm about to say something weird. I think the Knicks may have pound for pound the best culture in the NBA. I'm going to say pound for pound. Pound for pound, the best culture in the NBA. Oklahoma City may have the best culture because they're a small team and it's easily controllable. But the Knicks are in the biggest media market in American sports. And things around the Knicks are not easily controllable. But the fact that the Knicks look like a smart, well-run organization makes me think the Knicks are in a good place. And thinking that the Knicks are in a good place makes me think this is the perfect place for a reclamation project like Ben Simmons. Now, mind you, you got to protect yourself too, right? Like, we're not going to give Ben Simmons, they're not going to trade away a guy and then sign Ben Simmons to a 4-year deal. This is not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about in the short run, where both sides have options. New York is a good place to be for a reclamation project. And we've seen it work out for other reclamation projects, i.e., Isaiah Hartenstein. YZ is in the building. Yo, I saw DSJ the other day with a Merlot crushed velvet blazer on, and I was like, DSJ in the building singing to the ladies. He did the R&B hand. He was like, woo, 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 with a crushed velvet Merlot blazer on, and like some patent leather Stacey Adams with the heel on the bottom. I was like, gee, look at my guy. Okay. And he had a haircut. What? Salute to my guy, Delano Steele Jr., man. That's my guy. That's my people right there. I started to ask him though, when I saw the crushed velvet blazer, I thought it was beautiful. I thought I was gonna ask him, what is it? But I held my time. I was respectful, right? I was like, yo, that's beautiful. What is it? And then I caught myself. I was like, I'm gonna chill, right? I didn't want to make things awkward, right? But on the point of Ben Simmons, if you're gonna take a chance with that last roster spot, if you're going to take a chance, do you take a chance on a 15th roster spot guy that you know is a 15th roster spot guy, or do you take a chance on a guy, if everything clicks, could be the second best player on your team, third best player on your team, if everything clicks? Now, you know everything won't click. You just want him to be a contributor, right? But if we're talking about diamonds or charcoal, that the extremes, right? You know you're not going to get diamonds, but you know you're not going to get charcoal. You know you're going to get something in that middle place. And if Ben Simmons can consistently offer the Knicks quality NBA minutes without getting injured, right? Quality NBA minutes without getting, and I'm talking about, oh, my back, I'm out for 3 months type injury. I'm not talking about step on somebody's foot or jam a finger type injury. I'm talking about injured, not hurt. Can Ben Simmons dodge injuries in that amount, in this playing time or whatever, and contribute to the Knicks? Right? Ben Simmons gives you the opportunity to catch lightning in a bottle. Do you go sign a player like Landry Shamet, who you know during the season is going to get beat out by one of the young kids in Mike Brown's offense or Mike Brown's rotation? You know, if you sign Landry Shamet, he's going to get beat out by one of the young kids under Mike Brown. You know this is going to happen. With every young kid it is, whether it's Ariel Hukporty or Pacom Dadier, whoever gets that 10th rotation spot. Do you take a chance on a guy that if you catch lightning in a bottle, he could be borderline all-star type? Or do you take a chance on signing a guy that you know is barely in the league and you sign him because you have a spot for a guy barely in the league? Or do you take that barely in the league spot, take a shot in the dark on a guy that could be borderline all-star? And now that he had the surgery to repair his back, remember the Ben Simmons you saw with the Clippers is rusty Ben Simmons, right? Trying to get his timing back for all those years and games he missed trying to play through an undiagnosed back injury. Now, the mental part of it, hey, man, I can't speak to that because that is a major question. The mental part to Ben Simmons, the emotional part to Ben Simmons, that's legit something to be concerned about. That's legitimately something to be concerned about, right? And I am concerned. At the same time, if you sign Ben Simmons and Ben Simmons gets hurt, you still have a quality vet, and at the same time, you could play your kids. Right? At the same time, you can play your kids. Prezi says, doesn't that sound like too much of a project? Nah, not for your 15th, because think about it. If your 15th guy is playing consistent minutes, that means Brunson, Cat, OG, Bridges, Hart, Mitch, everybody's hurt. Everybody's hurt. Everybody's injured, I should say. If you're playing that many guys, if you're playing the 15th guy that many minutes, that means the starters are all injured, right? But if you sign Ben Simmons to that 15th spot and he just comes in and be LA Clippers Ben Simmons, then he's your sixth man. He's your sixth man. Now, here's the thing, too, that I want people to understand, right? Y'all know I like Chris Boucher. I felt like the Knicks should have signed Chris Boucher in the offseason. Y'all know I like Delano Benton, right? Delano just rolls off the tongue. It's like smooth to say, right? Delano Benton. Y'all know I like him. But the thing that Ben Simmons has over these other guys that we keep bellying about in these conversations is, since day one, Ben Simmons has been playing with superstars. Since soon as he stepped in the league, he playing with Joel Embiid, Jimmy Butler, Kevin Durant, Kyrie Irving, Kawhi Leonard, James Harden. So there is no, can Ben Simmons play with Cat and Jalen Brunson? It's not even a question. Like that Queens rapper said one time, it ain't even a question. In my mind. Now, and I know I'm speaking to certain points. Now, whatever your passion level is on certain points, it may outweigh the total conversation, and I get it. I get it. Like, some things can be a no-go. Like, for me, the emotional and mental part of the equation for me has me concerned. Of all the things that I mentioned about Ben Simmons and about the Knicks, the one thing to me that's a no-go is the emotional and mental part. And I don't care about the I'm apathetic to that all the other stuff. Well, in a sense, if Ben Simmons was to get that Knicks jersey and say, "Man, I don't feel like playing," see, that's me. I'm. If there was a bridge that connected Brooklyn, New York, and Manhattan, I would jump off of it. Right? If there was a bridge that connected Brooklyn, New York, and Manhattan, I would jump off of it. Right? If there was a bridge that connected Queens and Brooklyn, I would jump off of it. If Ben Simmons intimated something like, "Man, I don't feel like playing, my mind is not really there," I would fly to the moon, like one of the great crooners of all time sang about. So that is my line in the sand. Other people's line in the sand is, maybe there's nothing left in the tank. Other people's line in the sand is, he doesn't shoot enough. Other people's line in the sand is, he doesn't love basketball. Right? That's my line in the sand. Are you passionate about the game that I love? And are you passionate about my team that plays that game that I love? And just to restate, are you passionate about the game that I love? And are you passionate about the team I love that plays the game I love? Right? Santana, what's good, man? It's an interesting. I mean, it's interesting, man. It's interesting, right? There are some things on the left side of the paper, and then there are some things on the right side of things on the right side of the paper. 6'10", athletic, multi-positional defender, has played with superstars, was the number one pick in his draft, is used to pressure and all this stuff. And then there's the other stuff. So when it comes, I guess overall in totality, is Ben Simmons the missing piece for me? I'd say yes. But at the same time, I would make sure that all my options were open. I'm not going to paint myself in a corner. I'm offering Ben Simmons either a partially guaranteed contract or a 1+1. And I know those are going in two different directions. But I would, Kerry Cox, that's the question that I'm asking. That's where I am with it. The basketball stuff makes too much sense. The trustworthy part is the real question. The basketball, you couldn't make a better basketball fit than Ben Simmons, right? You couldn't make one out of you couldn't grab dirt and make a better basketball fit. The trustworthy part is where I am with it. If there is even a question about if he's trustworthy, I'll pass. If there's a question, I'm gonna pass on Ben Simmons about him being trustworthy, right? One other thing, just real quick. I wanted to address everybody, and East Blue Drew is in the building. Yo, so there are a lot of questions in Knicks universe about what the front office is going to do about a trade. Right? Right? And so I blame two entities, content creators and calculator guys. Like putting it in the ethos that a big trade is coming. You're like, hey, I'm smart. Look at me. I say fancy words. Right? Look at me. I'm smart. I say and this is me pretending to be them, everybody. This is not me in real life. This is me trying to pretend to be them. Look at me. I'm smart. I'm saying fancy words. A trade is coming. But I'm going to speak to y'all, right? I'm just going to speak to the passionate basketball fan and the passionate Knicks fan. Now, if that's not you, then you may want to turn away. But I want to speak to the passionate basketball fan and the passionate Knicks fan. You know that I know that you know that I know that you know that I know you can't turn a roster over every offseason. Right? I got to restate that question, right? You know that I know that you know that I know you know that I know you cannot turn over a roster every offseason and expect to be the champion. We all know this. Right? DSJ, you know that I know that you know that I know you know that I know you can't constantly make major trades and shift personnel and think continuity doesn't matter in the playoffs. Content creators need something to talk about, though. And calculator guys need something to talk about. Right? And so I'm gonna toot my own horn. Where's the DJ horn at? Do we have a DJ horn? I'm gonna toot my own horn just a little bit, because there's something that I'm good at, and I know I'm good at it, and I'm confident in it. But it's not because I'm blessed or ordained. It's because I've worked on the skill to get good at it. And that skill is being a person that can conversate. Being a person that can conversate, the one thing about being a person that can conversate is you have a humble, teachable spirit, right? That listens to other people, take in what they say, not because I want to be right, but because ultimately the conversation is the most important thing, the exchange of information. When y'all say things to me, I don't automatically slam these things as if what you said is wrong. If I don't automatically, jump up and down, you got to give me some time to think about it. Is there a crime in thinking about something somebody said? Sometimes I can think about it in the moment, and sometimes I need a day or two. Sometimes I just need some time to digest what you said. Sometimes it takes multiple shows. But I say that being the number one chief rocker is this. You can say something to me, and I'll take in what you said and process it. Sometimes I have a response. Sometimes I don't. I have to think about it. Sometimes there are conversations that we need to have that are deeper than the surface. And so sometimes we don't sleep on top of the covers, right? We won't sleep on top of the covers, right? We'll just get into it. So so basically what I'm getting at is when you hear people say, yo, a trade is coming because Deuce is going to be extension eligible, and how are you going to pay him and Mitch? What are you going to do with Mikal Bridges? Well, the answer is you got to trade Cat. And I was like, relax. 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 Because I know that you know that I know that you know I know that you can't make a blockbuster trade every offseason and win a championship. It's not how life works. Yo, they not going those final spots, man, it's gonna come down to you may as well smoke a cigarette, bro, if you smoke. Because I don't see anything based on what they've done in the past. I don't see them rushing to make an immediate signing. Now, if they make an immediate signing, it's because the person that they signed may not have been on the market long. And then basketball really doesn't start until September. So we have like a month and a half of this. Is basically what we have. And so I have some breaking news, everybody. I had to change the name of Vibes and Stuff to Echoes and Essence. So I'm gonna start putting it in the body of the Lawrence Tears in the description box. Yep. Hey, I'm about to do that right, DSC. I'm about to do that right now. I'm about to do that right now. So what I do want to do, though, before I get out of here, what I do want to say is this, everybody. I read y'all comments. And I appreciate the passion and the etiquette and the intelligence that y'all use to keep this community vibing, right? I appreciate how passionate y'all are, and how y'all get a point and y'all demand answers, right? And I say demand on, keep on demanding, right? Keep on demanding. So I'm gonna get out of here. I'm gonna do some stuff on Echo and Essence, right? Just go over there and rock. I'm gonna probably tomorrow, I'm gonna add it to the Lawrence Tears description box. But I have a question for you. Somebody asked me this a year and a half ago, and I shot it down. But I think I might be in a place where it may be time. And so here's my question for y'all. Is it time for Lawrence Tears to get another musical intro and outro for the channel? Is it time for the Knicks at Night podcast to get another intro? Is it time for the Knicks at Night podcast to get another intro? Is it time for Knicks Freestyle and other shows to get updated musical intros? Y'all let me know. On that note, man, I'm gonna get out of here. I appreciate y'all coming through and rocking with your boy. Y'all know how much that mean to your mans, man. Y'all know how much that mean to me, man. So I appreciate y'all coming through, hanging out. We gonna get out of here, man. Peace, everybody.
I rank where the view is nothing less than phenomenal. For how I express and project from my abdominal. The only view better, both my daddy and my mama know. No living parents, my sons give me balance. My wife is my serenity, this mic is my identity. The world is foul enough, that's why I write without obscenities. Provoking danger with broken language and spoken anguish. Begging to get hurt, why would you ask to go through changes? Yes, Lord, life's a chessboard, master the angles. Control the tempo, be the one who holds the info. Acknowledge is just as deadly as machete swings. When spoken, the truth is as potent as that Medellin.